Okay, so ready to dive in. Today, we are tackling something I know a lot of people find kind of mysterious, SEO.
Yeah,
Like, how do some websites magically end up at the top of the Google search page?
right. It can feel like magic, but it's really not.
No, it's not, it's SEO. And today, we're going to unlock the secrets using this awesome two-season podcast from Digmark as our guide.
Absolutely. There's a ton of information out there about SEO, and this deep dive is going to be a great way to break it all down.
So we're going to simplify everything, give you guys the key takeaways, and basically make SEO feel less like a puzzle and more like a roadmap.
Exactly.
Now, from what I gathered from the podcast, SEO can be broken down into two main branches.
You got it. On-page SEO and off-page SEO.
Okay, so let's unpack that a bit, starting with on-page.
Okay, so think of on-page SEO as kind of like sprucing up your website, making it attractive and understandable for search engines.
Okay, like giving your website a makeover.
Exactly. You're making sure your shop window is sparkling clean, well organized, and showing off your best products.
I like that. So what kind of things fall under on-page SEO? What are we actually doing here?
Well, first and foremost, you've got to focus on your content.
Content is king, right?
Absolutely, and for good reason. Your content needs to be top-notch, relevant, and answer the questions that people are actually typing into search engines.
So it's got to be high quality, but also targeted to what people are searching for.
Yeah, that's where keyword research comes into play.
Ah, yes, keywords, the bread and butter of SEO.
Exactly. You need to know what words and phrases people are using to find information related to your site, and then you naturally incorporate those keywords into your content.
But it's not just about stuffing your content with keywords, right?
No. You don't want to sound like a robot.
Right.
Search engines are sophisticated. They can tell when you're trying to game the system.
So it's more about creating content that genuinely helps people and then strategically using keywords to signal what that content is about.
Yeah, it's about striking that balance between being keyword savvy and creating something genuinely useful for your audience.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, besides content and keywords, what else is important for on-page SEO?
Well, there are a bunch of other elements that can make a huge difference. Things like meta tags, for example.
Okay, meta tags, break that down for us.
Sure, these are little snippets of code that you add to your website's HTML, and they basically tell search engines what your page is all about.
Okay, so it's like a little behind-the-scenes description that helps search engines understand what they're looking at.
Right, and there are two main types of meta tags that are super important: your title tag and your meta description.
So how do those work?
The title tag is what shows up as the blue clickable headline for your web page in the search results. You want to make it catchy, compelling, and include relevant keywords.
So that's what makes people want to click on your link instead of someone else's.
Exactly. It's all about standing out in that crowded search results page.
So it's got to be really eye-catching and relevant to what people are looking for.
Yes. And then you have the meta description, which is the little snippet of text that shows up under the title tag.
Oh, I see. So it's like a short summary of what the page is about.
Yeah, think of it as your elevator pitch. You only have a limited number of characters, so you've got to make it count. You want to use compelling language, highlight the benefits of visiting your page, and again, sprinkle in those relevant keywords.
Wow. So even though meta tags are kind of hidden in the code, they have a big impact on whether people actually click through to your site.
Absolutely. If you nail your meta tags, you'll see a boost in your click-through rate, which tells search engines that your page is relevant and valuable.
It's like giving your website a great first impression.
Exactly. It's all about putting your best foot forward in those search results.
Okay, meta tags. Got it. What other on-page elements should we be thinking about?
Well, there are some other technical aspects that can help you rank higher. One that's really important is your URL structure.
URLs, those are the website addresses, right?
Yeah, and having a clean, well-organized URL structure is key, both for search engines and for users.
Okay, what do you mean by clean and organized?
Well, imagine you land on a website, and the URL is just a bunch of random numbers and symbols.
Oh yeah, like those crazy long links you sometimes see.
Exactly. It looks spammy and untrustworthy.
Plus, it's hard to tell what the page is even about just by looking at that jumbled mess.
Right. So instead, you want your URLs to be easy to read and understand, both for humans and for search engines.
Okay, so what does a good URL look like?
A good URL uses plain language that describes the page's content, and it separates those words with hyphens.
So it's like creating a mini description of the page right there in the URL.
Exactly. And it also helps to incorporate relevant keywords into your URLs where appropriate.
Oh, that makes sense. It gives search engines another clue about what the page is about.
Right. So think of it this way. If you have a page about blue widgets, your URL should ideally include those words like yourwebsite.com/slew-widgets.
Much clearer than yourwebsite.com/product 4567889.
Absolutely.
Okay, URLs checked off the list. So what's next?
Let's talk about images.
Yes, images. Everyone loves a good visual, and they can really bring a website to life.
Exactly, but it's not enough to just throw any old image onto your website.
Yeah, I've heard that image optimization is super important for SEO. So what does that actually entail?
It's all about making sure your images are high quality, load quickly, and have descriptive file names and alt text.
Okay, so first things first, file names.
Yes, when you save your images, don't just leave them as img1234.jpg or something generic like that.
Makes sense.
Use descriptive file names that accurately reflect the image's content and separate the words with hyphens, just like with URLs.
So if it's a picture of a fluffy cat, the file name should be something like fluffycat.jpg.
Precisely. Then there's alt text.
Okay, refresh my memory. What's alt text again?
Alt text is the alternative text that describes an image, and it serves a few important purposes.
Hit me with those purposes.
Well, firstly, it helps people who are visually impaired access your content.
Oh, right, because screen readers can read out the alt text so they know what's in the image.
Exactly. But alt text is also important for SEO because search engines can't see images like humans can.
So the alt text helps them understand what the image is about and how it relates to the rest of your content.
Exactly. So when you're writing alt text, be clear, concise, and specific.
No need to write a novel, just a clear description of what's happening in the image.
Exactly. And use those keywords again where appropriate.
So if it's that picture of a fluffy cat, the alt text could be something like, adorable fluffy cat napping on a sunny windowsill.
Perfect. You've got the description and you've snuck in a relevant keyword.
Keyword ninja skills. Okay, images, optimized. Anything else we need to keep in mind for on-page SEO?
Oh, absolutely. We've got to talk about page speed.
Page speed, how fast your website loads, right?
Exactly. In today's world, people are impatient. They expect websites to load instantly.
If a page takes too long to load, people are going to bounce.
You got it. And not only that, Google actually takes page speed into account when ranking websites.
So a slow website can actually hurt your SEO.
It can. Google wants to provide users with the best possible experience, and that means delivering fast, seamless browsing.
Makes sense. So how can we make sure our website loads lightning fast?
There are a bunch of things you can do. Optimizing your images is one key factor, as we just discussed. Large, unoptimized images can really bog down a page.
So we got to keep those images lean and mean.
Exactly. You can also enable browser caching, which means that certain elements of your website get stored on a user's computer so they don't have to be downloaded every time they visit a page.
Oh, that's clever. Like remembering their preferences so things load faster next time.
Right. You can also minify your code, which basically means removing all the unnecessary characters and spaces in your website's HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files.
Okay, so it's like streamline the code to make more efficient.
Exactly. And there are a ton of other things you can do, like choosing a fast web hosting provider and using a content delivery network, or CDN, which distributes your website's files across multiple servers around the world.
Wow, so there's a whole science to page speed optimization.
There is, but it's definitely worth investing the time and effort to make your website as fast as possible.
Okay, speed, check. What else is on the on-page checklist?
Well, nowadays, it's crucial to make sure your website is mobile-friendly.
Ah, yes, mobile optimization. Because everyone's browsing on their phones and tablets these days.
Exactly, and Google knows that, so they actually prioritize websites that are optimized for mobile devices.
So if your website looks terrible on a phone, it's going to hurt your rankings.
Big time. Mobile optimization means ensuring that your website looks good and functions smoothly on all screen sizes.
So the text is readable, the images scale properly, and everything's easy to navigate.
Precisely. It's all about providing a seamless user experience no matter what device someone's using.
Okay, so that's content, keywords, meta tags, URLs, images, page speed, and mobile optimization.
We're on a roll.
We've covered a lot. But there's one last piece of the on-page puzzle that we haven't touched on yet, and it sounds kind of intimidating. Structured data and schema markup.
Ah, yes. This is a bit more technical, but it's essentially about adding special code to your website that helps search engines understand your content even better.
Okay, so it's like giving Google a behind-the-scenes tour of your website.
Exactly. You're providing them with additional context about your content, like what type of content it is, what it's about, and how it's organized.
So instead of just seeing a bunch of text and images, Google gets to see the structure and meaning behind it all.
Right. It's like adding labels to products on a shelf, making it easier for customers to find what they're looking for.
Okay, so how does schema markup actually work?
There are different types of schema markup for different types of content, like articles, products, recipes, events, and so on.
So you choose the schema that's most relevant to the content on your page.
Exactly. And then you add specific tags to your website's code that tell Google things like the name of the product, the price, the reviews, and so on.
So Google can pull out those key pieces of information and display them in the search results.
Exactly. It's like giving Google a cheat sheet to help them understand and display your content in the best way possible.
Okay, so schema markup is all about making your content super easy for Google to digest.
That's a great way to put it.
Awesome. I think we've pretty much covered the on-page SEO basics.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to the other side of the coin. Off-page SEO.
Okay, off-page SEO is all about building your website's authority and reputation outside of your own website.
So it's not just about what's happening on your own site, but about how the rest of the internet sees you.
Exactly. It's kind of like word-of-mouth marketing in the digital world.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So how do we build that positive reputation online?
Well, one of the most important aspects of off-page SEO is link building.
Okay, link building. Tell us more.
Link building is the process of getting other websites to link back to yours.
So it's like getting endorsements or recommendations from other websites.
Exactly. And these links act as a signal to search engines that your website is trustworthy and valuable.
Makes sense. If other people are linking to your content, you must be doing something right.
Exactly. And the more high-quality links you have pointing to your site, the higher you'll tend to rank in search results.
Okay, so how do we actually go about getting those links? Do we just email everyone and ask nicely?
Well, you can certainly reach out to other website owners and bloggers in your industry.
So networking is key.
It is. But you don't want to just spam people with requests for links.
Right, that's not going to make a good impression.
No, you want to focus on building genuine relationships and creating valuable content that people will naturally want to link to.
So it's about being a resource, not a pest.
Exactly. If you're consistently creating high-quality content that's relevant to your industry, other websites will be more likely to link to you organically.
Because they see you as an authority.
Right. And it's important to remember that not all links are created equal.
Well, what do you mean?
A link from a high-authority website, like a major news publication or a well-respected blog, is going to carry a lot more weight than a link from a random forum or a low-quality directory.
So it's about quality over quantity.
Absolutely. A few stellar links from reputable sources are worth more than a ton of links from shady websites.
So we want to be selective about who we're trying to get links from.
Exactly. It's all about earning those valuable endorsements that signal to Google that you're a trustworthy source.
Got it. Link building. Check. What other off-page strategies are there?
Oh, we can't forget about social media marketing.
Social media, that's a whole other beast.
It is, but it's a beast that you need to tame if you want to succeed with SEO.
Okay, so how does social media tie into SEO?
Well, while social media signals don't directly impact search rankings, they can indirectly influence them in a big way.
How so?
When you share your content on social media, you're increasing its visibility and reach.
So it's like an amplifier for your content.
Exactly. And the more people see your content, the more likely they are to link to it, share it, and talk about it online.
So those social signals can lead to more backlinks and brand mentions, which can boost your SEO.
Right. Plus, social media is a great way to connect with your audience, build relationships, and establish your brand as a thought leader in your industry.
So it's about building that community and engaging with people who are interested in your content.
Exactly. It's all about creating a buzz around your brand.
Social media, it never sleeps. Okay, what else is there besides link building and social media?
Well, there's online reputation management.
Okay, what's that all about?
Online reputation management is the process of monitoring what people are saying about your brand online and taking steps to shape that perception.
So it's about making sure people are saying nice things about you online.
Ideally, yes. But it's also about responding to negative reviews and addressing any criticisms or concerns that people might have.
Because in today's world, everyone's a critic.
Exactly. And those online reviews can have a huge impact on your reputation and your bottom line.
So you can't just ignore them.
You need to be proactive about monitoring your online reputation and responding to both positive and negative feedback.
Okay, so how do we actually manage our online reputation?
Well, first, you need to be aware of what people are saying about you.
So we got to be checking those review sites and social media comments.
Exactly. You can set up Google Alerts to notify you whenever your brand is mentioned online.
Oh, that's a good tip.
And then, when you see a review or comment, whether it's positive or negative, you should respond to it promptly and professionally,
Even the bad ones.
especially the bad ones.
Why is that?
Because responding to negative reviews shows that you care about your customers and that you're willing to address their concerns.
Okay, that makes sense.
And if you handle those negative reviews well, you can actually turn a disgruntled customer into a loyal advocate.
So it's all about damage control and turning a negative into a positive.
Exactly. And online reputation management isn't just about responding to reviews.
What else is involved?
It's also about building a positive online presence.
So we're talking about creating valuable content, engaging with your audience on social media, and basically putting your best foot forward online.
Precisely. It's about showcasing your brand in a positive light and earning the trust and respect of your audience.
Okay, reputation management, check.
Mhm.
What else haven't we covered yet in the world of off-page SEO?
There are a few more strategies that can really help you boost your rankings. One is brand mentions.
Okay, brand mentions. Tell me more about that.
Brand mentions are simply when your brand is mentioned online without a direct link to your website.
So it's like when people are talking about you, but they're not necessarily sending traffic your way.
Exactly. It's like overhearing someone recommending your store to a friend.
Okay, so it's a form of word-of-mouth marketing, but in the digital space.
Right. And while brand mentions don't directly contribute to your link building efforts, they can still have a positive impact on your SEO.
How's
Well, for one thing, they increase your brand visibility and awareness.
the more people see your brand name popping up, the more familiar they become with it.
Exactly. And that familiarity can lead to increased trust and credibility.
Okay, that makes sense.
And secondly, brand mentions can indirectly lead to backlinks.
How does that work?
If someone mentions your brand in a blog post or article, for example, another writer who's researching that topic might stumble across that mention and decide to link to your website.
So it's like planting seeds that can potentially grow into backlinks down the road.
Exactly. So don't underestimate the power of brand mentions.
They might not seem as impactful as backlinks, but they can definitely contribute to a positive online presence.
Right.
Okay, brand mentions, got it. Anything else?
Yes. We've also got digital PR.
Digital PR. Sounds fancy.
It's all about getting your website and your brand featured in online publications and media outlets.
Oh, so it's like traditional PR, but for the online world.
Exactly. It's about securing media coverage for your brand, which can really boost your visibility and credibility.
So we're talking about getting featured in articles, blog posts, online magazines, and things like that.
Right. And these media mentions often come with backlinks to your website, which is a huge plus for SEO.
So it's a win-win. You get the exposure and the backlinks. But how do we actually go about getting our brand featured in those publications?
Well, just like with link building, it's all about creating valuable content that journalists and bloggers will find interesting and relevant.
So we got to give them something worth writing about.
Exactly. And you also need to reach out to them and pitch your story.
So it's about building relationships with those media contacts.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to get creative with your pitches. Think outside the box and come up with unique angles that will grab their attention.
Okay, so digital PR is all about getting the word out about your brand in a way that's engaging and newsworthy.
Precisely.
Awesome. Any other off-page strategies we should have on our radar?
We do. We've got content marketing.
Content marketing. I feel like that's a buzzword I hear everywhere these days.
It is, and for good reason. It's a super effective way to attract your target audience and position yourself as a thought leader in your industry.
Okay, but what exactly is content marketing?
It's all about creating and sharing valuable content that's relevant to your target audience.
So we're talking about blog posts, articles, videos, infographics, ebooks, and all those other forms of content that people love to consume.
Exactly. But it's not just about churning out any old content. It needs to be high quality, engaging, and informative.
So it's got to provide value to your audience and answer their questions.
Right. You want to create content that people will actually want to read, watch, and share.
Content that's so good they can't help but tell their friends about it.
Exactly. And when people share your content, that's a huge win for SEO.
Because it means more people are seeing your content and potentially linking back to your site.
Exactly. Plus, content marketing can help you build relationships with your audience and establish your brand as a trusted source of information.
So it's a long-term strategy that pays off in multiple ways.
Absolutely.
Okay, content marketing, check. What else is there?
There's influencer marketing.
Influencer marketing. That's where you partner with popular people on social media to promote your brand, right?
Exactly. Influencers have built up a large and engaged following, so when they recommend your product or service, their audience is more likely to take notice.
So it's like a supercharged form of word-of-mouth marketing.
Right. And it can be incredibly effective for driving traffic and sales.
Okay, so how does influencer marketing work?
Well, first you need to identify influencers who are relevant to your industry and target audience.
So if you're selling makeup, you'd reach out to beauty bloggers and makeup artists.
Exactly. And then you'd work out a partnership agreement with them, which could involve anything from sponsored posts to product reviews to giveaways.
So it's about collaborating with those influencers to get your brand in front of their audience.
Right. But it's important to choose influencers who align with your brand values and whose audience is genuinely interested in what you have to offer.
So it's got to be a good fit all around.
Exactly.
Okay, influencer marketing, got it. Any other off-page strategies we should be thinking about?
Well, if you have a business with a physical location, local SEO is super important.
Local SEO. That's all about showing up in those near me searches, right?
Exactly. It's about optimizing your website and online presence to appear in local search results.
So if someone searches for coffee shops near me and your cafe pops up, that's local SEO in action.
You got it. It's about making sure your business is visible to people who are searching for products or services in their local area.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we optimize for local SEO?
Well, one of the most important things is to claim and optimize your Google My Business listing.
Google My Business, that's your business profile that shows up on Google Maps and in the local search results, right?
Exactly. You want to make sure your business information is accurate and up to date, including your address, phone number, website, and hours of operation.
So it's like creating a digital storefront for your business.
Precisely. And you also want to encourage customers to leave reviews on your Google My Business listing, as those reviews can influence your rankings.
So those star ratings can really make a difference.
They can. And in addition to Google My Business, you also want to make sure your website is optimized for local keywords.
So if you're a plumber in Chicago, you want to make sure your website includes phrases like plumber Chicago or plumbing services Chicago.
Exactly. And you also want to list your business in relevant online directories like Yelp, TripAdvisor, and Angie's List.
So it's about casting a wide net and making sure your business is visible wherever people are searching for local services.
Exactly.
Wow, I think we've covered a ton of ground today. SEO can feel like a really complex topic, but breaking it down into on-page and off-page strategies makes it feel a lot more manageable.
I agree. And the key takeaway is that SEO is a long-term game.
It's not something that happens overnight.
Exactly. It takes time and effort to build up your website's authority and visibility.
And it's all about consistency.
Yes, you need to be consistently creating valuable content, building relationships, and optimizing your online presence.
And you got to be patient. The results might not be immediate, but if you stick with it, you'll eventually see those rankings climb.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to experiment and try new things. The world of SEO is constantly evolving, so you need to stay up to date with the latest trends and best practices.
So true. So for all you listeners out there, what aspect of SEO are you most curious about? What strategies are you going to focus on first? Let us know. Keep diving deeper into the world of SEO.
And don't forget to have fun with it.
Exactly. SEO can be challenging, but it can also be really rewarding when you start seeing those results. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time.
See you then.